Today's episode is brought to you by Crest White Strips. Or is it Crest White Strips? Crest White Strips. They make your teeth white. Hello and welcome to InfoWhores. We are your hosts. I'm Nat.
I'm San.
And today we're going to talk to you about some of the drama going on between Chris Sky and some members of the kind of other members of the anti-lockdown movement. There's been some mad tweets. There's been some drama at our Dominion Day celebration on Canada Day. There's a lot. So we're going to cover it all. So be sure to stick around, especially for the end, because our episodes always get juicier at the end. It has nothing to do with the amount of liquor that we consume by then.
It totally does.
No. So we're just going to start the episode off by reading you an excerpt from Chris Sky's About Me section on his website, just so you get an understanding for those of you who don't know who he is. Okay, so this is from Chris Sky's website. It's realchrisSky.com because he's actually real. He's not an alien. Or what is it, a lizard person? Is that what Trudeau... whatever. I'm digressing. So Chris Sky is a...
Reptilian, sorry. That was it. Like your shirt.
My shirt.
And that's representing the reptilians tonight.
I'm not one of them. Okay. Chris Sky is a motivational speaker and the world's most prolific human rights advocate. His vast knowledge and articulate delivery are second to none when it comes to examining and presenting the facts to find the truth. The truth that is intentionally kept hidden from you. Chris Sky not only provides the knowledge to assert your rights and to preserve your freedoms, he leads by example and puts his very life on the line every day. His mission to help and educate others has seen him targeted and persecuted by our own government in previously unspeakable ways, which are now becoming a commonplace as our country and much of the world slides steadily towards tyranny. Chris has been a victim of personal, even physical attacks. His message of truth and advocating for basic human rights has made him a target of our government. Placed on the no-fly list and having his verified Instagram of almost 250,000 followers disabled, even his personal website, realchrisSky.com, was removed the very first day it was published. All attempts to deplatform him and to stifle free speech were ultimately carried out to violate and suppress the rights of all of us. RealChrisSky.com is here to provide you the knowledge and courage you need to preserve your future. Okay.
So we have a lot to unpack here.
There's a lot to unpack there.
So let's just back up in case a couple people don't know. So Chris Sky has been one of the most vocal. He's like
spearheaded the anti-lockdown movement, arguably.
Yeah. And he's done so many cool, amazing things. Yeah. So
no, we're not making fun of him that much. Like, to be honest, I would say we really respect him and what he's done. And I think everyone, whatever your personal feelings of Chris Sky are, like, we should all, like, kudos are due to this dude. He's fought the good fight.
No, we bow down. But the trajectory of his...
It's just like he clearly wrote that himself. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
his mom wrote it.
Or his mom. Like, I don't know. Like, come on. Like, prolific. What does that make us? A prolific human rights advocate. What are we? Are we like the second most? No, I'm just kidding. He's done more than us, but still, it's like...
That aside, so, okay, he's the biggest name in the anti-lockdown movement, and he has an enormous following.
Yeah.
Borderline cult-like following, and we'll get into more of that later. He's got a book out now.
Just Say No.
Just Say No, and you can... We're not promoting his book.
You can find it on his website. You can't find it on his Amazon, apparently.
Because actually, like...
They took it down or whatever once it I don't know. There was a whole debacle there.
But what's funny is my son's father ordered it months ago and he's never received it.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Interesting.
Yep.
Amazon, if you're listening, we know you are. What the heck? Okay, so Okay, so moving on from Chris Guy's beautiful, articulate biography, let's talk about where this drama mostly stems from. You mentioned earlier we'll call it the Canada Day debacle. We were present in Ottawa at the Supreme Court of Canada. Beautiful building, by the way. It's a shame there's no justice actually takes place in that building. But we were there, and there was this gentleman. He sang a song, Amazing Grace, and it was beautiful. And then he kind of started speaking about his testimony.
Yeah.
And then while he was giving this beautiful testimony, you see Chris Guy kind of jump in with a megaphone and try to interrupt this gentleman.
Well, that's basically what we saw. We didn't know any of the backstory, but going through everyone's social media, which I try to do, like we want to really
represent the story. Yeah.
Represent. It sounds like they were different versions of the promotional
element
of the promo poster for the event, right? One has Chris Guy's name, and most of the ones from the caucus, the lockdown caucus,
they didn't have his name.
They didn't have his name, and according to them, he really wasn't invited to speak based on some of the things that he'd said before. The organizers, before the event started, and he said, if you try to cut me off or censor me, I'm warning you that I will incite the crowd to see if they want to hear me. And if they do and you don't let me, I'm going to ruin you guys. I'm going to
speak anyway.
I'm going to speak anyway, and I'm also going to
just interrupt the event. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And we were there. We witnessed it. It was super douchey. This other man was like giving a beautiful testimony, and just to have Chris Guy think that what he has to say is more important was really, really inappropriate. Just politics aside, of the politics of the event aside. So after this, a bunch of tweets came out, and it kind of spearheaded even more drama and even more division. Moving on a couple days, July 5th, Chris posts photos of Maxime Bernier. He calls him Vaccine Bernier, which I actually thought was quite clever.
It is.
Wearing a mask. And it's oddly enough, I actually took photos of Maxime Bernier on that day because it was at a Toronto Freedom Rally, and they were campaigning. Him and Baljeet Bawa were campaigning for an upcoming election in Toronto. So we were there together, and we witnessed Maxime Bernier received this mask from some random woman, and it was like a PPC mask that she had made. So Chris Guy uses this photo that I took. So cool. We're basically famous.
Yeah, totally.
We're famous. I don't know. But anyway, the tweet said, Maxime Bernier, he said Maxine Bernier, so he doesn't know his name, is who we are supposed to trust and support to restore our rights and freedoms, while he's making and selling branded PPC face masks and admits he loves his mask. So we actually got involved in this tweet because I was like, hey, we were there. We witnessed all this happening. We got some love, a little bit of hate. But it's just really interesting how to see people take these situations out of context, which is exactly opposite to what we all believe. Like, it was just super hypocritical to witness. And obviously since then it spiraled, and we'll talk about that more. But like, what the heck, dudes?
Yeah. I think what really inspires people about Chris Guy is that not only does he have a lot of facts, but people don't realize that they don't fact check him, right? So he's very compelling. He's very motivational, like he says, or his mom says.
Well, he's a prolific human rights advocate.
Yeah, but I went through like an entire interview, and there were so many inconsistencies, like way too many.
Right.
Like what you said about the PPC mask, whatever. Like Maxime Bernier has never said he's anti-mask.
Nope.
The lockdown movement was about
the
lockdowns and having a choice.
Absolutely.
To wear a mask or not, to vaccinate or not, right?
No, definitely. And then like on top of that, Chris starts posting like other photos because I guess someone has been making PPC masks and selling them. Oddly enough, someone's also been making Just Say No masks and selling them. And he tried to like tie the two together as if it was the PBC like selling these masks. And it was absolutely not true. So it just, I don't know. Basically, the point of this episode is that there is a lot of disunity, and it's really questionable. And I think it's worth getting to the bottom of why this is happening, because it's just these grown men spending way too much time on Twitter. Like, these are politicians.
Yeah.
Like,
and we don't want to attack Chris.
No.
We don't want to single him out right now. We actually don't think there are like
there's
perfect actors in this situation.
No one's innocent.
No one's innocent. And not only that, like, we shouldn't, like you said, we shouldn't hold these leaders to
incredibly high standards, or we shouldn't unconditionally support them.
That's exactly it. But the Chris guy has a huge cult-like following, in my opinion, and they take everything he says as, you know,
Bible,
and really. And the next thing should we move on to?
Yeah, let's move on to the Chris guy's latest drama with your BFF, Karima.
Well,
first, before we jump into this, do you want to tell everyone who Karima Saad is?
So Karima Saad is a lawyer, activist. She's done great things for the Chinatown Spadina community, according to her. No, she is. She's a lawyer for and marijuana activism and stuff like that. So,
marijuana
like,
is legal, but it's.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just read her stuff.
Yeah.
But she has been coming out to a lot of these anti-lockdown protests for weeks and weeks and weeks, and some people don't know why, but apparently, this is according to a Now Magazine interview that she had with them. She said she wanted to kind of explore and see what these people were really about, but she also associated them with white supremacists and racist, right? Which I actually have a big problem with. I think that kind of attitude I've been going to these we've been going to them for so long, and there's like it's
a pretty mixed bag.
It's not a race thing.
Yeah.
I don't get it at all.
Yeah. She's looking for trouble.
She's looking for clout. She's looking for popularity, in my opinion. Why would you go to the media, and why would you show up week after week just with your GoPro?
You think she'd be so busy because she's a lawyer? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with lockdown. Wouldn't a lot of people be needing her services with all the evictions but I digress.
Yeah.
Anyway. No, but I think, if you go to an event like that, looking for racism, like that kind of race baiting is, to me, it's parasitical, and it's like testament of what's happening in society right now. Everything that's wrong with society right now.
Yeah.
She associates him, and she encourages her followers to associate him with being a racist when he has a wife who is not really white. I don't know what she is, but she's But if she's interviewing mainstream, she's getting
mainstream publicity. Yeah. Yeah.
And associating him with like white supremacy and racism, I just think I think that's really unfair, and I'm embarrassed for her.
Yeah. Well, she's very cringe. Cringe is the best.
Yeah.
Cringy Karima. But okay, so that's a little background. San's BFF. That's why she took such a big swig of beer after. Hi, love you. So Saturday, July 10th, Chris Sky agreed to an interview with her. Now Magazine publishes this article that reads, Toronto lawyer Karima Saad takes on anti-lockdown celeb Chris Sky in an online interview. I like that they called him a celeb. And then they quote her, and she says, my agenda isn't to platform his dumb ideas, but to further entrench division within the movement. So let's just back up a bit. Timeline of what we just talked about. Chris Sky goes to Canada Day. Division. A lot of division. Twitter. A lot of division. This nice lady invites him on her show, and she literally says outwardly, I'm doing this to divide the movement, and he says okay, like it makes him look really sus. Like, okay, are you trying to divide the movement, and why? Like, what would you gain from that? Like, you're like, he has a voice, but he's not that well known. Let's be honest. He's not influencing Canadian society. He's influencing us because we're this fringe group of people. And then people who watch CBC may also know who he is. But everyone else in the middle, which is the bulk of Canada, has no freaking idea who he is. So it's like, what's the gain here? What does he gain in doing this? And we'll talk more about the event a little bit, but
I think it's very telling who he has been willing to talk to and who he's unwilling to talk to.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. And obviously this event didn't happen, which we have our own conspiracy theories as to why the debate didn't really take place between Karima and Chris. But should we talk about that a little bit? Yeah.
So kind of what happened was, from what I read, is that she had the event set up in Chinatown, and there was pushback from not only the community, the Chinatown Association, because they didn't want a large group,
like a gathering,
especially with somebody like
with
lockdown.
Anti-maskers.
Yeah. And also, she had a bunch of other speakers and comedians and guests and stuff, but also she capped the event for 25 people. Yeah. And she also had her own lawyer. So she's a lawyer. She had her own lawyer put out a kind of warning. I don't know what it's called. Like warning
like a PR statement.
That the event is closed off. It's a public space. Literally, it's off the street and you can walk downstairs. It's open to anyone normally. But because she works in that mall, she got her lawyer to say there will be police presence there. And not only that, if you try to antagonize her, she will take legal action. And
the lawyer's lawyer. That's funny.
The lawyer's lawyer. But none of it was real. It was kind of wishy-washy, the whole statement. It didn't make any sense. Like, so if I go to shop there or get my hair cut there in the evening,
the police are after you.
Yeah. But anyway, so it turns out that before Chris Guy even got there, Antifa had shown up. Surprise, surprise.
There's an Antifa house down the street. I wonder if they were there. I'll ask them next time.
It's so funny. But so Chris Guy, according to his Twitter face tweak or whatever. Face tweak. There was like 50 Antifa members there, and they barricaded the entrance to go down to the stage area, and which he managed to cross over, but not before
he jumped.
I don't know. It's kind of dark.
He didn't skip leg day that day. He jumped.
He didn't skip leg day. Yeah, but before anything happened, Karima had she
evacuated.
Bolted. Yeah. So she made this whole entire event, and there was a lot of buildup from all publicity. Different, from the lockdown movement and the neighborhoods and everything. And then and the police were going to be there and all this stuff, and she got a lot of interviews and media from this. And then before he shows up, she's gone.
Yeah.
And drama ensues. So, final take
is Chris Sky, you should have expected she was never really going to give you the time of day. Lefties don't do that. How many times have a billion conservatives been like, hey, AOC, I'll give you $1 million to debate me.
Yeah.
And she refuses it. You know, like they can't do it, and we shouldn't be surprised. So to me, it's just like, why waste your time engaging with this BS,
yeah,
Chris?
And he acknowledged that in a later tweet. He's like, see, this is what happens. They do this, they do that. I show up and this happens.
Yeah, but he knew it was going to happen. So that bugs me.
So why do it?
Exactly.
And why not be interviewed by
InfoWhores? We emailed you. But
we have leg weights here.
Yeah, we'll do some squats with you. But okay. But also, okay, I would just like to say alternatively, though, and this is actually in defense of Chris Sky. Randy Hillier tweeted like 18 hours ago a photo of the headline, the Now magazine headline, that Chris is a paid disruptor. And he said that Chris just didn't show up to this event. And that is a lie. We just called out Chris Sky's lies on Twitter about the mask thing. Like, Randy, members of the anti-lockdown movement, y'all can't play this game either. Like people are, there's so much division within this small movement. Like, you guys are wasting our time. You're wasting the time of members of the community who have actually lost their jobs, risked their lives, like all this stuff. And it's just to go on with this like petty BS is really offensive to those of us who are actually risking stuff by doing this. We're not Chris Sky. We're not rich. We're not MPPs. Like, it's a little different for us than it is for you guys. And just to go on about it for this long is, I don't know. I'm actually offended. Maybe I'm a lefty now. I don't know. No, just kidding. But it's offensive. Like, it's really disrespectful. You know?
We've lost the plot. Like, it's exactly. A complete distraction. And I'm guilty of... My life is that boring that I've been so obsessed with this whole drama. And but that's what it is. It's a distraction. It's because the new season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was so bad that this is kind of the same thing. But yeah, we have lost the plot. And I think it just speaks to something you addressed earlier on that we talk about all the time. It just speaks to how we should not, as individuals, put our trust in these leaders, these commentators, these anti-lockdown celebrities, these politicians. It's up to us. It's like we support these people, and like if you're doing good things, we would love to continue to further your platform and give you more of a voice. But at the same time, like, I will turn on you in a second. Yeah, we shouldn't be loyal to anyone.
Not blindly. Yeah. You know, like, no unconditional love for any of you, y'all. Not even you, Vaccine Bernier. Just kidding. Too far? No.
He'd have to do something. He'd have to what? What would he have to do for us to...
I don't know. Like, wear high heels with Erin O'Toole. I don't know.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's the one.
So, Max, please don't wear red high heels. Then it'll be over.
But I don't know, like... It's just interesting. All of this is just really interesting. And why do you think this is happening? Like, why is there division? Like, do you actually believe that Chris Sky is a plant?
A paid disruptor?
Yeah.
I would never, ever, and I don't like this about any movement or whatever. I'm tired of people... that's
being conspiracy theorists.
No, and I am a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's so irresponsible to... That's the first thing. As soon as you disagree with someone,
to point fingers.
You're a controlled opposition. You're a paid disruptor. I don't like that.
Well, I would
never.
Well, Chris Sky did that to Maxime Bernier, saying he's in bed with George Soros and all this. It's just like, these are huge statements to make against someone.
Yeah. Okay, so just a quick aside about that. Like, that's what he said. But Maxime was involved, right, with the UN at one point. But it was.
He's a foreign affairs minister.
Yeah, but since then, he has totally denounced.
Yeah.
And he does not want any involvement. He wants to pull out of the UN. So just to be clear, just for the record, Chris.
If you're listening, he's not.
But he doesn't. It's so easy to go back into someone's history and find something.
And where's the grace, though? Like, people are allowed to change. We've changed.
Exactly.
I don't get it.
Yeah, even Erin O'Toole, he can apologize for wearing red high heels, but like...
He won't. But I think the main issue here, and what we're trying to say is, like, now... Like, especially with our, like, 90 million vaccines that have been administered, like, we need to be more united than ever, because Canada is not in a good place. And if there's division within this tiny, tiny movement already, actually, this is like the second division, because the Line has also kind of been involved and now kind of disappeared. Like, we need to be united, or else we will not succeed.
Yeah. So I would like to take a minute to praise these people. Okay. Hello. Who's been there from day one?
No drama.
Zero drama.
You're a little too new agey for my liking, but I love you anyway.
That's cool. We accept you.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Vlad, he's been...
consistent.
Solid dude. Friends with everyone.
And he's stayed out of the drama.
And the work he's done for the movement. It's just phenomenal to hear him speak from day one, even till I saw him at the Adamson barbecue protest.
Yeah.
Like his life mission right now is family, country,
Health.
amazing.
Holistic
So
health.
that's
Yeah.
where we're at right now.
Vlad for PM.
There's also lots
kidding.
more people like him. Do you want to shout out to a bunch of people or?
Yeah, InfoWhores. No, I'm just kidding. But it's true. Like there are just because someone doesn't have a big platform doesn't mean they're not worthy of being heard. Like Vlad, obviously we know who he is, but
Yeah.
he doesn't have 250,000 followers. Okay, but that shouldn't take away from what they have to say. These people, these like small platform people, man, they're the people you can trust because they're the people who are risking it to get the biscuit.
That's good.
Thanks.
Is that yours?
No.
No.
Do we have anything else we should say?
Oh no, I think I said a lot.
I think we're done. Anyway, go follow Vlad. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.